So let me start a quick intro of mine with my introduction, and then after I'll try to take your introduction, and then we will move ahead with our Tosca demo part. So hello all, myself Pradeep. I have 10 plus years of experience into this IT industry, of which the first 2 years of my career I have did manual testing, and I have also did automation testing using uh, the Selenium, Java, and then also C Sharp. Apart from this, I had also did a bit of API testing uh, using the Postman tool as well as Tosca. But more than that, apart from this API testing and then automation, I've also did a bit of uh, performance testing. So performance like with JMeter and Neoload tool. So this was like around 2 years is what I have did it initially, and but then after the rest 7 to 8 years of experience was completely onto Tosca. My current experience and the prior, so if you would say it is around 8 years, I would say as of now. And then with this, during this tenure, I have got almost what have worked almost for 20 plus projects. And this reason being this 20 plus projects is, if you would say, the majority of the projects that I had worked on were very short term projects and a mid term. So short term maybe around like 2 to 3 weeks hardly, and even mid range ranging from 3 to 6 months, not more than 6 months. So, but couple of other projects which I have worked with the Deloitte client or my recent ones, there I was for a long term, like I would say over a 2 years project. So overall, if I club or combiningly, if I have to say, around 20 plus with different technologies, be it a SAP application, desktop, or be it a web-based application, a Salesforce application, all the different domains and all is what I've got a chance to work on using Tosca. I also have got opportunity to work on site in Australia. I was actually around for a couple of years during the COVID time, I would say. And with Australian clients, especially while I was working on site, I had got a chance to work with the university and with insurance companies where they were using Tosca as an automation tool. So yeah, that's pretty much about me, I would say. Now, what I would expect from you guys is a bit of introduction from yourself, like saying your name and your base location, where are you from, and then your background, a bit of experience, what you hold, be it IT or non-IT, or into whatever domain you are into, and then the reason for choosing this Tosca training. So is it like your personal choice that you are into here, or your professional career because of your current project demand or your project requirement has pulled you here onto this training? So this is the basic introduction I would need from each one of you. So if you could just quickly give me this introduction, would then be helping us here trying to know what sort of audience candidates we have here, and I would then start our Tosca demo part. So who would want to go first?
Yeah, myself, Venkat.
Yes,
Present
Venkat.
location now I'm in Bangalore. I'm working as a software testing side actually, functional tester only, with multiple applications like ERP applications, Oracle apps, and web applications I work. A reason for choosing Tosca, need to change taking the automation tool actually. I don't have knowledge on that Selenium and all Java. That's why I'm choosing the Tosca. Because Tosca no need to take any languages, right? Like Java, and all, not required for that.
Right.
That is the
So it's
reason.
like your personal, and it's not your current project demand or something
No,
for
no,
which you are here, right?
no, no, my personal only.
Correct, correct. Okay, okay. I want to understand that. And how about your total experience?
I
What
have
is
10 plus years of experience in testing.
10 plus? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that introduction, Venkat.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hello. Yes, Durga.
Yeah, I'm Durga.
Yeah.
So I have spent the last 10 years doing a manual testing on web applications. So
Mm-hmm.
my base location is Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
your
the
your
reason
personal thing or your professional your project demand that you have currently?
for the personal thing only to upgrade my skills. So I have chosen this.
Got it, Durga. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi Pradeep, this is Shweta.
Yes,
I'm
sure.
working in Malaysia as a manual senior tester. I'm having experience of 5 plus a year experience in manual testing. The reason for choosing Tosca is currently I want to move my platform since for manual testing here the chances is very low. So I want to move into automation.
Right. So there, like within your company is what you are looking for, or any other opportunities outside?
Within the company as well.
Okay, got it, Shweta. Thank you. How about others?
Hi, Pradeep, Pavni here.
Yes, Pamri.
Yeah, myself Pavni and base location is Bangalore. I have 10 plus years of experience in functional testing.
Mhm.
Um, it's for personal reason only, not because of any project that what I am working now. I just want to move to automation as it is more demand.
Got it. Okay, Pavani. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Harish.
Yes, Harish.
Yeah, I'm having around 6 plus years of experience into manual testing. Recently, I lost my job in layoffs actually. So, I mean, in October.
Mhm.
So, in market also, we don't have that much openings in manual testing. So that's the reason I choose this one.
Got it. Thank you, Harish.
Hello, myself Subhash,
Yes.
having around 15 plus years experience in manual and functional testing in Oracle Labs domain. So actually, in my current company, Tosca, they are using Tosca for automation team. Just I want to upgrade myself. That's why I'm interested to join this demo. I want to check what kind of course it is. Actually, I'm zero. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any coding experience and all. Basically, you can think like it's a zero coding from my side. So I
Right.
want to know whether I can go with this or not.
Got it. Understood. So during this 15 years, you haven't got a chance to work on the automation part, or
No, 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 no. I'm purely into this functional. I mean, ERP side.
got it. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Yeah. Anyone else pending who would want to introduce a quick intro, another couple of minutes, and then we will jump on to our demo part. Okay, I would assume we are done with this. So let me then move ahead with our demo part. So I hope everyone can see my PPT screen. Can someone confirm?
Yeah, can see.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you. So just like how we had our introduction, let me just quickly give you introduction of Tosca even. So let us quickly uh, see even the Tosca side. So if you see about Tosca introduction, so it's a first thing, a continuous testing platform. And first thing what I want to just give a disclaimer here is during this training session, our main focus or the major focus would be on the practical part rather than the theoretical concepts or theoretical things. So here, uh, few things again, the theoretical concepts and all, I would assume you guys would be able to understand things if you get it here and there on So whatever platform you would be, so you might get that, but the major focus would be on how real time we would be using things, how practically we would have to look into this topics is what we would be looking into. So that's where the quick theoretical parts, if we have it, even though if we don't go too deeper, that's fine. We would focus majorly on the practical part. So here, coming to this Tosca, it's a continuous testing platform where it helps to automate end-to-end applications. What end-to-end? Be it a web-based, a mobile API or desktop, any applications, we can automate it. So that is what with Tosca we could do. And now coming to this further, if we go deeper, first we will try to even understand what this testing is and what is this software testing. Why do we have to do software testing? So just a quick overview of what a testing is, why we really need this software testing. If we understand this terms, and then after, what is this manual testing and the difference when we do with automation, what exactly is that? The difference between those two things is what we are going to look into. A quick thing, not too deep. But now coming to this testing part, why exactly we would have to do testing? So if you would see an application, a software that is going to be built, whatever applications are built or that are going to be built, if you think it is obviously would be done by a human or developer, right? Again, and a human kind of tend to make mistakes. So that's where we just as a testers are here to test to see if whatever applications is being developed, is whatever is being built, is it properly built, is it as per what is being expected, is it built up to that level or not. It's what we have to just check. So testers, we would here be to validate those particular thing if it is done in correct way or not. So tester's job is that testing that particular thing, whether it is being built to what is being expected. So any application, let's say you take a Facebook application or any Instagram or any social media app or any application, whatever you think of. So when you see that application, now tester's job is to see if that application is working fine, working as expected, working as a customer could use it in a way where it is not uh, deviating from what actually it should do, right? And then here, now if that testing is being done by a human manually, in a way where if we want to test, if a human, we as a person want to test a Facebook application or any social media app. So let's say if you're testing that application, what you would do manually, if we have to do, we have to open the browser from our system manually. We have to see where the browser is, be it a Chrome browser if we want to open. So we will go to our system and try to find out that Chrome browser. We will double click, we will open that Chrome browser in our application, in our system. And once the browser is opened, then manually we will type the URL of the application, like https www.facebook.com or whatever application you want to test. So once you launch that application URL, then the page would come. Now over there onto that page, now depending on what functionality you want to test. So on that Facebook application, let's say if you want to test the login functionality. So if you want to test the login functionality of that application, what exactly you would do? You would be entering the email ID. In the email ID field, you would enter into that username field, into that email ID field, into the text field. You would manually click onto that field and you would be entering some text, some email ID into that manually from your keyboard. And then after, you would be entering some password into the password field. And after that, you would click manually from your mouse click onto the login button to log in, to enter into the logged in page of that Facebook application, right? So all these actions on the screen, on that application, whatever a person, a human is interacting, a human is doing on that, then we will say that is nothing but a manual testing, a testing that is done manually. Now, same set of actions, same set of things, whatever actions we have performed, we have tested on that application. If this, all those steps if it is being performed by a robot or by a tool, then we will say that is nothing but an automation testing. So that's the only difference between manual and automation. For manual, a person or human needs to manually interact with that and do it step by step away. But for automation testing, it's like a tool would be doing for us. We just have to script it. We just have to build our script, develop that automation testing, the scripts that whatever we would want the tool to do, we would just develop it. So that is what an automation testing is. Now, difference between manual and automation is, so for manual, we need a human who would just have to do it. But for automation, if we write a script once, a tool would be doing that execution. And apart from that, the manual thing, if we see any functionality that we would be testing, it would be bit a time consuming, or the result might come a bit later. But whereas for an automation, it is just the execution goes very quicker way. You would get to know the result in a very faster manner. Now, how you would say this is faster? Let's say if you have to test the login functionality and manually a person is testing, and if that manually a person is testing, let's say on one browser on Chrome, if that person is taking almost, let's say, 5 minutes to test that functionality. The same thing, if we do it from a tool, automation testing, if we do it from a tool, instead of 5 minutes, hardly within a minute is what you would get a result. And not only on one browser, there itself, if you could customize, when you build your automation framework in a way where not on one browser, but on multiple browser you want to do, just with minor change, you would be able to parallelly run on different browsers, different machines and different things, and within hardly same 1-2 minute, very less shorter period of time, you would get the result. So that is where the automation would be more handy. And along with that, what exactly automation or the scenarios or testing we would do is not all the things that we would be testing, not all the things we would consider for automation testing, right? When we have, let's say, 100 items in our bucket, not all 100 items would be like we would be automating. No. So here we have to understand what we should automate. Especially the automation role over here would be, if you think in a way where a particular scenario which you would have to test manually again and again, repeatedly. Now, when you say repeatedly again and again, let's take a scenario in a real world. You just imagine. So you are appointed a tester and into an application which you are testing, the Facebook application, let's say. So when you're testing it for the very first time, and the functionality that you would test is, let's say, forgot password. So if you're testing that forgot password functionality, so for the first time when you would test it, what you would do, you would put so much of efforts onto that, and you give your 100% of the things, and you would try to test the forgot password functionality of Facebook application. So for the first time, yes, you have done a good job. Done, fine. It is tested, and if there were any issues, you have reported it. If everything was working fine, you have reported even well, and your test case got passed. So first time the test case went well. Now, the same functionality, you might have to test it repeatedly again and again. Why you would have to test repeatedly again and again? Because in real time, when application is going to be built, it would be done in bits and pieces, in a component of all, in a component level way, not like as a whole one thing you would just get and then you would can use that application. No, functionality wise, small chunks wise, that application, the developers would be building it, and whenever they build a smaller part of that application, they will push this particular thing to a smaller, all this component things, and then they would be integrating it as a big thing, and at the end a system would be developed. So here, whenever there is a change in the application, right, whenever a new functionality that is getting added to your application, you as a tester have to test the new functionality what is getting added. Along with that new functionality, you also have to make sure that the old functionalities, whatever were present, you also have to see if all those were working fine. You also have to make sure all those are working fine and is not being affected because of the new change that was done in the system. So here, what we say to this particular testing is nothing but a regression testing. So especially the scenarios, what we pick for automation is nothing but the regression testing, regression scenarios. Why regression scenarios? Because that set of functionalities, that particular set of things, we would be testing it repeatedly. And now, if you are testing like registration functionality or that forgot password functionality for the first time, you will put your 100% of efforts and you would do it. But if I have to ask you, or if you would ask someone, now, can you do that for the 10th time? So that person, again, yes, they will be doing for 10 times, but instead of 10 times, like what if you ask them to do it for 50 times, or what if you ask them to do the same thing the 100th time? What do you think, the first time what they do and the 100th time what they do you think they would be putting their 100% of the efforts, everything, onto that same thing, repeated task, the same way? Obviously you might see the difference, the focus might not be there, or someone can assume, okay, since I have tested for the past 98, 99 times, even the 100th time I would assume it might be working fine. So some things we might give some lenience, we might not test the actual thing which we really have to, and we might miss some things. So that is where the manual thing we cannot rely on something which we are repeatedly testing it. So such scenarios is what we would be picking it for our automation things. So until this point, if is everything clear? Am I making sense? Is it clear or no? Can I get a confirmation, please?
Yes, Pradita.
Okay. How about this? Clear?
Yes,
Okay. So if you guys have any doubts until this point, just let me know. If your doubts or concerns or your questions are not around this and maybe something else, then I would ask you to hold it till the end of the session. So at the end of the session, I'll try to take your questions. Okay. So if no further questions, let me move ahead with our next slide. So now let's come to this Tosca automation. Now we know what testing is, what manual testing is, what automation testing is, what exactly is the big difference between this. So once we know all these things, now we will jump ahead with the Tosca automation part. So what Tosca is, we will try to understand what Tosca is, why we need Tosca, and why only Tosca, why not other. All those things we will try to analyze, understand over here. So in this, first of all, coming to this Tosca thing. So Tosca is a model-based test automation tool. Now, why Tosca is a model-based test automation tool? Because in Tosca, or while using Tosca, we don't have to code anything. Without having to code anything, zero coding tool, what we say, without having to code anything, we can do the automation what we would want it to. So that's where, if you see key features, the model based test automation, no scripting needed. So why exactly, how and all, I would show you the practical thing in this demo part so that you would understand it. So I would not much focus on this theoretical now. We will try to practically see things and understand it. Okay. So after, along with this, if you see risk-based testing, optimizing the test coverage, or end-to-end test automation tool like web-based, we can automate, or API, database, and UI testing, everyone, all in one tool, everything we could do it by using Tosca. So seamless CI/CD integration, also like Jenkins, Azure DevOps, continuous integration and development pipeline and all we can set using Tosca even. So now, before I go further onto this, let me quickly try to show you some of my observations, especially with, let's say, when we are discussing about Tosca, right? Let us try to compare what or why Tosca and why not any other tool. So when we say any other tool, the most widely used automation tool in the market is Selenium that we see. So let me try to compare Tosca with Selenium and what, why, and how we would try to let us try to understand this scenario. So with Selenium, if we are using an automation tool and if we want to do, yes, we can do. But what we have, first thing, it is a free tool. Free in the sense we need not pay anything to use Selenium for automation, right? For Selenium automation, if we want to do, it is a free tool. We don't have to pay anything. But whereas for Tosca, if you would compare on the same part, it is a paid tool. Now, even though if it is paid, we will try to see what exactly the benefit and why we are seeing in this market or current, you guys might also be seeing so many opportunities. Why and all, why even the companies or the management are preferring this Tosca tool over a free tool which is already there in the market. So that will try to understand with some of the examples, some scenarios. Okay, so when I say free tool for Selenium, yes, but what a person, whoever wants to use Selenium and do the automation, what they have to do, they need to know some programming language, some programming background. What programming? It could be like anything: Java, C Sharp, .NET, Ruby, Python, etc. So all these things is what they need to know. Only then they will be able to use Selenium for automation part. And with Selenium, they can automate only web-based application. What if they want to do desktop? What if they want to do API testing? What if they want to do any other testing? Then they cannot use Selenium. They would need some other plugins, some other things. And again, to use that programming knowledge, one would need to have. So that is the challenging part with Selenium automation. But whereas with Tosca, if we see, even though if it is a paid tool, one need not have any coding thing. So zero coding is what zero coding, no coding knowledge is required for one to automate any given application. When I say any given application, it could be web application, it could be mobile application, it could be API, it could be database, it could be desktop base or SAP or anything, etc. All these things we could automate using Tosca and without having to code anything. So this is clearly benefit or been what we see personally, if we see, or even management. Why they are saying is, again, if I have to give you another example where, let's say if I have to, let's say from the client perspective, there are some 1,000 test cases that needs to be automated. And they would want this 1,000 test cases to be completed in 1 year. Then the same thing, if someone is using Selenium, the management or the estimation would come, let's say they would think of and they'll say, okay, for doing this 1,000 test cases of an application within 1 year, okay, the estimate is we would need around 10 people, 10 resources to do this task. 1,000 test cases in 1 year, we would need 10 people if someone is doing the automation using Selenium. Okay, this is fine. Now, coming to Tosca, if someone would choose 1,000 test cases within 1 year using Tosca, if they are doing the automation, then the management or clearly the estimation would come. Here we don't need 10. We would need hardly 3 to 4 people. 3 to 4 people are enough. 3 to 4 people are enough to do the automation for whatever the application they would want within that period of time through Tosca. So that's where if you see the cost, we need very less people, less resources. And also those people or those resources need not have any coding thing. Whereas if we had this 10 people to find out those people and then make sure they have this whatever the programming language they are using is bit difficult to find, right? And that's where, even though if it is easier to find, but what about 10 people hiring and then investing on this? Like instead of giving it to 10 people, obviously if we see for Tosca, they are okay to give like less people, the same amount of work would be done in quicker way. That is where the management has clearly seen this difference, and that's why in nowadays in the market you might also be seeing things in a different way. So if I have to say you my personal experience, what I have seen, maybe like from past 5 years, so before COVID and after COVID, if we try to compare some scenario, let's say for Selenium and for Tosca, if you say before 5 years or before COVID, pre-COVID time. So if you say Selenium was somewhere around 80% in the market, if assume that way, if it is 80% in the market, Tosca was somewhere around 20%, right? So this was before 5 years. But now, during these 5 years and all, if you would see, the things have changed for Selenium and for Tosca even. Things have changed. How exactly? So if you see Selenium, it is somewhere around 50% if you think of now, and Tosca is now 50%. So here, before 5 years, if Tosca was somewhere here, now during this, you see there is some change, some increase. Why this change or this increase? Because of the demand requirement, because of the features or the benefit what Tosca is giving. So management, the companies are thinking, the clients are thinking, the clients are seeing those things, and that's where nowadays in the market you might be seeing more job opportunities on Tosca when just 5 years before and 5 years after, if you would see. So this is what with my personal experience I've seen nowadays on LinkedIn, or be it on your Naukri profile, you might be seeing some opportunities, more onto that opportunities before 5 years and after 5 years, because of the changes or the things or the features what Tosca is offering, right? So this the difference that I would wanted to explain. And around this, if you guys have any further questions, I think let me first quickly complete this slide thing, and at the end I will try to take your questions, guys. Okay, so I hope at least I have given some idea, some background of what Selenium, Tosca, why people or things they are just preferring this. So in practical thing, we will try to even understand. So I see most of you guys would be here for saying, okay, without we having to code anything, no technical, no background, even though if we are into that, how can we really use Tosca for automation? So if you're here, yes, don't worry about this. I will practically show. We will try to take one application and we will try to automate that application. And then during this training, not only that automation, how we do, what I would also be focusing on is the real-time usage, the real-time in my current project or in my previous project, what all things I used to do, what all things, how we used to manage, how we used to do things, all that real-time exposure and all is what I would be putting in this training session. So you would be able to understand things very clear. I would try to make it clear at least. So with this, if you see key features that we have seen, and now if you would see the Tosca framework, what it allows us to do, you will have some reusability. So how Tosca framework would allow us reusability is, again, few things here. Don't worry if you don't understand it completely. At least a few things, if you understand, that's fine. The rest, while we are progressing further in our training sessions, you would be able to understand clearly the things when I would explain about that topics. So coming to this reusability, yes, we can achieve that in Tosca. How? There is some concept called reusable tester blocks, the libraries, what we say. So we would be creating, and how that reusability is achieved when I would explain about you that topic. So there we won't be duplicating our Tosca automation, the framework that we would create. We won't be duplicating or copy pasting the same lines of code or the things or the steps that we would need at different places. Instead of duplicating, we would make use of some concepts which is called reusability, the libraries thing, reusable test step block. So how and all we will understand it later. But for now, yes, Tosca framework allows us to reuse anything if we want to. Apart from reusability, scalability even. What is the scalability if you see? So the same example what I was trying to explain here. Let's say this 1,000 test cases for Tosca within 1 year by using these people, we were able to automate. Now, after 1 year, the client would come and say, okay, yeah, we are happy with what things have been done. So now can you automate another 1,800 test cases? So after this, if another 1,800 test cases, if it has to be added to the same project that was earlier done, yes, in Tosca, it is easily possible. So the maintenance, the scalable thing, scaling it from smaller to bigger is also possible in this. Along with the scalable thing, maintainability is also quite good, better when compared to other automation tools. Since I have also worked on other automation tools, I have seen the challenging part or the difficulties or the situations where we have to maintain the old code, and if it is a coding things would be a bit difficult to maintain. But with Tosca, personally, I have seen it is quite easy to use. So easy to maintain, easy to scale, easy to reuse things. So this is what a Tosca framework would allow us. Apart from this, the next slide, if you see, again in this, let us not go too deeper into this, but a model based test automation where in Tosca we can do manual testing as well, API testing, we can do data. So all this manual testing, how and all we can do is what I would show you in our classes, so you would be able to understand. So don't worry about things what you don't know here or what you see, but few of these things like API testing, if you want to do database testing and risk-based exploratory testing, everything, yes, we can do it with Tosca. How to use Tosca? You just have to download, install Tosca in your machine, and you can create the just so how you can download and install, like once you download, install Tosca in your machine, you have to create the test script, test case, create the script, and then execute it, check the result, analyze and see. This is a basic workflow of how it is. But in our actual classes, I would be explaining you in detail about how you can download Tosca, how you can install it, how you can create the test cases, all that flow, everything in detail we will understand. But this is an overview overall what Tosca we can use. Okay, and the first time if you are seeing Tosca, then this is how it looks like, where you would have some menu options that you see on top left, the ribbon menu, which is project, home, view, all these menu options that you would see, and then different tabs that you see over here. So what are these tabs or what are the sections and all in detail, we will understand it later. But this is how it looks like. And then towards the left of your screen, you are seeing this project tree like structure, and towards the right side you would see the properties of that particular thing, and bottom left you would see the status bar of Tosca, what a Tosca status, whether it is ready to use, whether it is some busy, engaged, or something is happening in Tosca, all that status related thing you could see it bottom left on your screen. And then the details tab, the main screen or actual thing where you would be doing the modifications to your test step according to your requirement, that is your details tab, detail screen, where you would be doing it. Yeah. So here, this is how it looks like, but in practical way, I will, as I said, we will try to automate one sample application. We will try to see, we will automate it. And when I automate, you just see whether am I coding anything? Am I just saying any complex thing? Is it like, are you able to easily understand things, or is it anything difficult in that? So everything, when I do it, you might be seeing that things, and later on, I'll try to take the questions at that moment, and I would hope that things would be easy for you and then easy to understand. So that is why I'm here to make your life easy with Tosca, at least I would say. So now in this, along with this Tosca view, so what are the use cases of Tosca if we see? So probably which companies would use Tosca, where they can use which sort of companies can use Tosca. If it is a banking company or a healthcare, retail, telecom, insurance, etc., any companies can use Tosca into their uh, company, right? And in that, where exactly they can use Tosca, like let's say you are working in a banking company or a healthcare company example. So where exactly they can use Tosca. So if that company is using or doing regression testing, if they are performing API testing, if they want to do UI automation, if they want to do SAP testing or database, anything when they are doing, then yes, Tosca could be used in that company to this particular cases, right? And then along with this, now let me just tell you key points on this training things. So from very basic to advanced level is what I would be conducting this training, and then 100% certification clearance. So what exactly it is, what all certifications we are doing as part of this training session is what in the next slide I would be explaining or showing you on those certification parts. But live materials and recordings, so day-to-day recordings. And then in case you guys missing some sessions on a particular day due to your deliverables or due to your day-to-day, if you are busy in some other activity and won't be able to join the session, you don't have to worry about that missing the session, because you would get a recorded session of day-to-day thing and all those live materials and all. So what all those things we would have, I would show you in my system, and you will come to understand about that. And doubt solving session even we would have every week. So not only week, but I would just say even during my training session, I would make sure that before I start the session or after I have end the session, during that time I would try to uh, focus even on the questions or the doubts that you guys would have. So my major focus here would be on not just coming here explaining the topic and leaving. I would be more interested into solving the doubts, whatever uh, the questions that you guys would have, you would want some clarifications. That is where here I would see this training would be more handy or would be more useful for you if we would interact more, like uh, rather than me just coming here and then saying the topic, explaining and then leaving, right? So that's where you would see things and what all applications we are going to do some hands-on multiple applications is what I hope you guys have received the brochure and then you have seen the course syllabus things. If not, our admin team is here. You could get the details, and I would also show you what all things we are going to discuss. So troubleshooting on any challenges that we have, and interview tips, tricks, cracking how you would have to do. And me also being an interviewer in my previous companies for the previous projects that I have did, so how I would think of from a interview perspective, how or what sort of questions one would ask, and you as an interviewee, how you would have to answer the questions, how you have to do those things. All that guidance and everything is what I would be uh, doing it in this training session. So some weekly some assignments as well as what we would be giving, and some interview questions and document is what would also be shared during this training session. And then industry level some CV resume preparation and all, even that guidance and some mock interviews. So these are the things that we would focus into our uh, training things. So now after this, the certification part, which we would
Cancel.
Yeah. Okay. So now coming to the certification parts, what exactly we would be looking into is this automation specialist level 1 and level 2, and then test data specialist 1, TDS 2, and then AE1, automation engineering level 1 and API. So this 6 certifications from Tosca is what we would be getting, and we would be doing it as part of our training session. And along with this 6, we would also have the 7th certification, which is Tosca Product Consultant Certification Exam. So even this we would be completing, and over here onto this document you would be seeing your name printed over here. And this is where having certificate on your name would add an added advantage to your resume. And if you are looking for any a job switch change or in your current company itself, it would put some weight onto that resume, I would say. So this would be valid across any company. So it's not from our next IT or our certificate. It is from Tosca, from Tricentis side. Is what we are going to look into. So these are the certification things, and if you follow everything during this training session, you guys would be having or getting this certificate with your name printed on it. So that is what you would be seeing, and all that clearance certification thing what I was talking about, this is what we would be looking into. So with this, I think I've done much of the talking now, and I'm ready to take any questions that you guys would have. So before questions, the things or what other documents or things that you would receive is, so whatever currently we are looking into these topics and then the training topics, I hope you guys might have received this PDF from our team in what are the course syllabus that we are going to cover, what topics, what things, and what all applications. So if you would see here course syllabus with Tosca, what topics we are covering, you could go through that document. If you have not received, let us know. Our admin team would share this document with you. You can go through these topics, right? Along with this, if you scroll down further here regarding the SAP as well, we can see things. And then in this Tosca with API even, and now covered application. So if you see Tosca with web application testing we will do, and Tosca with desktop, and we say like Tosca with SAP, how we can automate that. We are practically going to do these things, and Tosca with API as well as the database. So these are the things that we are going to cover as part of our training session. And the materials things or what all documents we would be going through our training session. So one of the batch that if you would see, so all these topics, all these things, all these documents, whatever we have did, like say API testing, some best practices, some certification, some database testing, or the Tosca notes even. So if you would see how you can install Tosca, download things, all that details, as well as the Tosca notes. So if you would open this Tosca notes, what exactly this Tosca notes would have. So I have just gathered, copied things from here and there, and just prepared a document based on our topic wise. I would be sharing that. And if you would go through this Tosca notes as a quick reference, if you would want to do, you would find that things into this document. So if you would see whatever just now today we have discussed about the testing, software testing, manual testing, about the Tosca, and what a scenario is, what steps that you have, common use cases of Tosca, how this Tosca framework, what it does, reusability, keyword driven, or this things, whatever we have said, right? You could go through this document, and then going forward, how we can install, download, all those details. So in this Tosca notes, you would see on all these topics and the things that we are going to cover, everything this as a document. You would be even receiving these notes at the end of the training session, or even day to day topic when we would complete, you would be seeing this document. So all these things would be shared to you in your drive once you would share your email IDs with our admin team. Then our team would be sharing this details, not only these documents but even the recordings as we were talking about. So day to day recordings and all, everything that would be available. So with this, I think I've done too much of talking for now. And if you guys have any questions onto anything, now I'm open for questions. I hope I was able to make you understand few things, overview of what this Tosca is, how and all, and a practical thing. Probably since we are done with our today's session, tomorrow I would be going to show you practically how Tosca we can use and do the automation of one of the application, and we will see how we can do it without having to code anything. And tomorrow you guys would be able to understand that using Tosca, even though if you don't have any technical knowledge, a background of that, you can still use that to do the automation. So that practical part tomorrow in the session I would be explaining. So with this, I think, yeah, I'll just stop it here. And if you guys have any further questions onto this, let me know. Whatever you guys have not understood or you need any further clarifications on anything, let me know. If not,
Yeah, good evening, sir.
yes.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. So my question is, apart from Tosca, so comparing with the Selenium and Tosca, which one is a more, I mean, which is having a more range in a market?
Right. So that's what I have just now shared here, right? So if I say personally what I've seen, so before COVID, 5 years down the line, and during this 5 years, if you would see, so if Selenium earlier, before, yeah, it was having so much, and maybe Tosca was somewhere around 20%, if we say. Now, during this 5 years, if you would see, Tosca is now almost 50%. So it has increased its market share, I would say. And why? Again, things that I have explained here. So I hope that scenario, whatever I have explained, is clear here. Because not only this, but from the management perspective, from the client perspective, even they are saving a lot if they are using Tosca and investing in the uh, tool, the license part, as well as in the people that they hire. They are seeing more benefit than Selenium if they would do. And with Selenium, it is only web-based application one can test. But if a company wants to do an API testing, database, or any other testing, SAP application, then they have to go for some other automation tool. But with Tosca, they can do everything all in one tool.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the clearance.
Yeah. Yes. Any other questions from anyone?
Yes, after the session, I mean, like after that completion of training, how to support this Tosca software to us to practice in local. It's a
Support in the sense,
paid,
what exactly you mean,
I mean,
Venkat?
it's a paid version, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So about the
How
license,
many
about
months
how
we
you
have to
can
support?
download Tosca, how we can install it, how you can even use that tool, and not only Tosca, but even though when I say SAP even, so SAP is not an open source, even the market, right? So even this Tosca SAP tool, downloading, installing, getting the login credentials and all, everything, all these things you don't have to worry about. You once you enroll to this course, our admin team is going to take care of everything about Tosca installation, downloading, installation part, and even the licensing thing and all. Our admin team is here. They would help us, so you don't have to worry about or
Yeah,
don't have to
that
pay
is up
anything.
to how many months I'm asking
Right.
actually.
So for the license part, it is once our admin team provides, so the license would be for around 3 to 4 months is what you could use that tool.